I've been lucky enough that I've been brought up in a home where I have very great role models that have always been giving. Both my parents have been involved in numerous roles in philanthropy and different organisations. So I guess I've always been brought up in understanding the importance of giving. But my own personal journey started when I was asked to be a host, when you were just sort of bringing 10 friends, or you're making those calls to try and get people to come to events. And I guess that started that ability of understanding the need to get on the phones and convincing people to come to events. And even though that model's kind of changed, probably started that confidence of just being able to pick up the phone and hope that the answer is yes, I'll join you, and hear what the organisation has to say. So I think just being a host both in JCA and UAA would be my first examples. I guess I feel most passionate about young families now, particularly being a mum of 3 young children, and just seeing how fortunate we are as either the Sydney or Melbourne Jewish communities and the way we live, and seeing around the world, particularly at the moment, it breaks my heart, the basics that some families don't have, or access to education, or access to even mental health services. So I think that's why JCA in Sydney is a big passion of mine, who provides services for those that don't get to necessarily access those. I think the values of trying to get my kids to understand how fortunate they are probably drives a lot of my decisions of what I do. Well, how can you not be moved by Tracy? I think meeting Trace and her passion and energy of how she encourages others to get involved and want to give and learn how to give more productively resonates to me in itself. But I've been fortunate enough to do one leadership through AJF, which was a UAA fellowship. I've now just applied for the Leadership Launchpad course. So I guess having touch points of the programs that they actually provide makes me see what they do. But what I'm drawn to, and why I was so honoured to be invited to join the board, was because I think the biggest challenge we have at the moment in all the organisations that I'm currently involved in is engaging my kind of demographic around that late 30s, early 40s to be involved and to give and to step up and not rely on our parents' generation. And I think that AJF is doing what they can, or they want to do more, in order to be unique in the programs and the opportunities that they're providing to that demographic, whether it's through connections, through leadership courses, through understanding what's driving someone's passion and then putting them in the right direction. I think having that overarching ability to connect people with their passion and causes is what makes AJF stand out. And so I feel very passionate, or very privileged, I should say, to be able to start connecting people to go through that process. My wise father has always said to me when I've come to him for advice or asking him about whether or not I should engage in opportunities, is that you have to feel that you've left the organisation or left the project in a better way than when you started. And I think that's driving me at the moment, that I'm learning to say no to certain things and really stepping up and pushing myself to get involved in a deeper way into the projects that I want to do. So, for example, I've been on the events committee for the Australian Jewish Fertility Network for 3 years, but I've now just taken on the role as chair for the events committee, and that's stepping up and pushing myself, and being on 2 different boards again is using my skills in different ways. And I'm just wanting to really go deeper into certain projects so that I leave feeling that I've made my mark. I'm proud of all my giving, because I think it's something to be proud of when you are giving your time or your treasure or your talents. But I think the most unique thing I do that is different is that my husband and I are part of a giving circle. And I think it's a fairly new phenomenon in Australia. There's 7 couples. We were brought together originally through JCA as all JCA young major donors. And for the past 4, even I think we're in our 5th year, we've collectively pulled our funds together and divided those funds to projects that have connected to the values that we stand for. AJFN is a great example, which, even though I've been through fertility and have 3 IVF babies, I'd never heard of AJFN. And our giving circle gave to help that organisation really flourish to what it is today. One member's on the board and other members the chair. I'm the event chair. So we've really shaped that organisation and taken it to the next level. So I think think the impact of seeing where our funds are directly going, or the families that we're specifically helping, is really unique, and also something I think should grow. So I think I'm proud to be able to be one of the first. Really would like to try and increase the amount of giving circles at various levels of giving within the community. So in 10 years' time, I would like to, I guess, still be down this path, but maybe it is even taking it a step further, that I'm maybe doing less, but a bigger role in those ones that I am doing, or I guess leading by example and, helping to start various giving circles, or I feel very passionate about starting the messaging of philanthropy at a young age. So taking that messaging into philanthropy at home, which I do through Jumpstart Juniors, to encourage the discussions and people's journeys and education of how to give from a younger age. So doing what I'm doing, but maybe from a different perspective or a leadership role.